Can priest nhau means party it up
Oh.
or drinking.
Oh. Well, that's why they call me Chahem Joy. Hi, I'm Father David Romero.
I am Father Tri Din
We're Jesuits living at Loyola Marymount University.
and working with Christus Ministries, drawing more young adults to the church.
And we're here to answer VEYM's questions about the vocation to priesthood.
Vocation to priesthood. I want to be a priest. How can I be a good priest? Hey, that's a great question.
Great question.
Come talk to us.
Good priest. You see his prayer life and his apostolic life flow together in union.
A priest is in persona Christi, meaning like the second, another Christ. So to be a good priest, the closer you are to Jesus, the better priest you will be. And hence the prayer life, the love of God, the love of the people, that's who Jesus is. That's what makes a good priest. What fun things can you do as a priest? Can priest nhau means party it up
Oh.
or drinking.
Oh. Well, that's why they call me Chahem Joy.
Ham chơi, ham uống.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think like anybody, it's within moderation, right? You can have fun and enjoy yourselves, but within the reasonable bounds of not transgressing, right? Any inappropriate boundaries.
Yeah, like does Jesus know? Absolutely. In fact, he was called a drunkard, but he knew how to have fun. But the thing is this: the kind of fun that Jesus and priests, we have, all of our life is meant to point towards God. So any kind of fun, drinking, partying. No, not partying it up, but like rave parties situation. But any drinking or partying it up, are we pointing people to Jesus?
You could have great rave parties that point to Jesus.
I've never been to one, but it's possible.
We should start.
Invite me to one.
Yeah, I'll be there. All right. Should I date someone before becoming a priest?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Actually, I did, before becoming a priest.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's helpful, not necessary. How so? So we talked about marriage. This is at the end of my college years. Her name was Chang. She's married now happily with 3 kids and a wonderful husband. But I think it's good to know yourself, your longings, and I think there's a real loss in saying no to not taking the path of married life. And I think it's important. It's important to know your options and who you are. And so then you can choose to respond more fully to the call. And for me, it was the call. I was not called to focus my energy and all of my activities in a small group of people like a family. I was called to give myself to a wider group of people. Now that's not everybody, that's mine. So dating helped me to discover that. I don't think it's essential, I think it's helpful.
Yeah. It was towards the end of college for me too, dating Kelly. And I learned so much about myself, my own desires to love and my longing to be loved, and learning through all the messiness that dating is. But I came to a greater sense of, you're right, God's call to the sense of a wider group of people in service. And I told her this, that I wouldn't know what it would be like to have that desire to love more people if it wasn't for her and my love for her. And we, have also likewise remained actually friends to this day. Was altar server at her wedding. I baptized their first daughter. It is a gift. Prayers to help discern vocations. I find maybe this isn't a worded prayer, but I think the prayer exercise, imaginative prayer exercise, where you imagine Jesus, being with Jesus as you would a good friend, and imagine him gazing upon you with great love, care, and compassion, non-judgment, but allowing yourself to receive that loving gaze, and just to notice what happens within you, and how might Jesus sort of call you, if you will, as you're discerning various vocations. I think that can be a powerful form of prayer, because it really does help you get in touch, at least helps me get in touch with my belovedness and how God might be actually calling me from that place.
For me, what was very helpful, and it's an easy question to ask. It's not an easy question to really ask. And the question for me is this: Lord, what do you really dream for me? And to really ask that. And but the dangerous thing is, if you ask that, God's going to come back and say, what do you really want? And then you have to do that work. Yeah. So that is helpful. And the other one is, giving my gifts. How can I give God the greater glory? How can I help more people exercising the gifts that I'm given, as well as some of the limitations as well?
Thanks so much for these great questions. We hope they were helpful in some way. And please, if you ever feel like you want to ask any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us or any religious at all about these kinds of questions. They're so good.
It never hurts to work for God. And it never hurts to work with God. Sometimes we feel like following God, we get the short end of the stick in the short run. But in the long run, it never. Why? Because Jesus says, I've come to give you life, full life. So yes, it never hurts to work for God or with God. God bless.
God bless.